We've all seen it happen. You're staying afloat financially until some pain in the butt accident or emergency costs you your entire savings. How do you recover? Or better yet, how do you protect yourself in the first place? Hi, I'm Carly Myers, your friendly stress management expert, and this month we're talking about money. Now, we're doing something on the show today that we've never done before, and that is this. I'm actually bringing on my very own partner. Now, my partner's name is Justin Engel, and he owns and operates his Allstate agency in Fishtown, Philadelphia. He has a background in real estate and technology, and he applies his expertise to his current industry in order to serve and protect the community as a neighbor, right? He is our neighbor's trusted advisor. I'm super excited to have him on the show because I think that some of the things that have come up in our own personal relationship are going to be really, really relevant to this topic. So, Jay, I'm super excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited to be here as well. So, just a quick little story of kind of how I started. I used to be a real estate agent full time in Fishtown, in Philadelphia, and in New Jersey, and was kind of doing real estate and insurance at the same time until about a few years ago when I decided to put all of my both feet into insurance and kind of open up my own Allstate agency. And it's been a great decision. I've been able to help a whole lot of people, especially everybody in the neighborhood. And that kind of leads us into the first topic that we were going to talk about, which is money. Money can be one of the biggest stressors in our lives, especially when some accident happens or an emergency happens or something that we're not expecting happens, and it throws off our budget completely in a way that we're not really prepared for. Um, there are certain situations where insurance can help with that. And obviously, money is one of the biggest stressors, not only in our lives, but in terms of relationships as well. Just kind
Yeah.
of linking it back to the relationship that me and Carly have together. Our main relationship. We talk about money, all the time when it comes to, hey, can we afford to go on this vacation, or hey, can we do this?
Can we take the dog to the vet? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah,
some of those things, we don't really think about insurance being able to help with. We think about insurance in terms of like our car, right? Like, oh, I got hit on the highway. It's a good thing I have car insurance. That'll take care of that. But there are a bunch of different places that insurance can help in our lives and kind of provide a peace of mind and help in unforeseen emergencies. Expenses, unforeseen emergency expenses can be the number one cause of financial stress in our household.
yeah.
And Allstate has a whole bunch of different products that, to be honest, I didn't even know existed until I opened up the Allstate agency. I was working at Allstate for, uh, a few years before opening my own agency. And during that time, I was really just, helping people with car and home and stuff like that. But since I've really put my foot into, opening up my agency and doing things on my own, I found that there's a whole bunch of different things that I didn't know about. So, like, take for instance what Carly was just talking about with the vet. Are we able to take our dog to the vet? A few weeks ago, we just got a some pet insurance that I didn't even know existed before I opened my own agency,
Yeah.
and that has really gave us some peace of mind. I mean, our
We adopted a 10-year-old dog with Cushing's disease and all sorts of stuff. And we thought, when we first adopted him, that it was going to be, oh, we were just going to have to pay for his medicine every month. And we very quickly learned that when you adopt, I mean, even you adopt a puppy, but for us, an older dog, there are definitely unforeseen emergency expenses that could, go up into the thousands, which is not something that you would expect.
Not at all. Like we had an instance with our dog where we had to take him to the emergency vet because of an issue with pneumonia and breathing. And I think that instance cost us like almost it could have cost us almost $1,000 or more.
Yeah, and had there were some recommendations where it was like we should, drop $7,000, and had we not had insurance.
That would have been all out of pocket. The whole $7,000 would have been out of pocket. But thank God, we only have to match a couple $100, and everything else is taken care of by the insurance company. And I know it kind of sounds cheesy, but it gives us a peace of mind in that we think, God, if something happens with the dog, we're okay, and we can take him there, and it's not going to interrupt our budget. We
Hmm.
can plan out. Look, it's $40 a month for the dog for his insurance. We know it's going to be $40 each month, and then that way, if something crazy happens, we know that we're good.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important because I mean, we've been talking a lot about money this month, and we've talked about budgeting, and we've talked about our money mindset, and we've talked about a lot of things, but we can also think about money from a preventative perspective. And I think that's why I really wanted to have you, excuse me, have you on the show, Jay, because we've prevented huge emergency expenses from like demolishing our budget. And it's been able to help us stay in a really healthy financial spot.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, if that's something that you want like a one-on-one to talk about, maybe just to kind of go over your situation and what you have and what needs to be protected, that's something that my agency is willing to do absolutely free of cost. We just call it an insurance review. Really, we're just here to help the neighborhood and help everybody achieve peace of mind. That's really what it's about. When when money is the main driver in the household and the main thing that can cause problems in the household, anything you can do to mitigate that circumstance and mitigate that situation to create uh, an atmosphere of knowing that you're taken care of, knowing that you're going to
Security,
security,
safety. Yeah.
exactly, knowing that you're going to be okay if, oh my God, the house burns down because somebody tried to make popcorn on the stove and didn't know how to do it.
That's not an example from real life. I just want to be clear about that.
Of course.
But yeah, I think that having the conversation about preventative measures, like I know for a lot of you who are listening, you hear me talk about chronic stressors. For women, particularly, money is the number one stressor in the United States, number two for men. And you just flip that for men, job pressure, and then money. And so money can be a huge issue in relationships. And so, having this conversation about how can we prevent or protect ourselves if something comes up, if an accident happens or an emergency happens, how can we make sure that we're protected? Now, I wanted to talk to Justin about some of the things that I've been hearing you talk about just in some of our conversations about being able to make, like, even actually take our mortgage payment down lower.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What I've been doing recently is I've been just been doing free home insurance reviews with people because a lot of times people are actually over insured on their home. They're over covered for an amount that it's going to cost maybe half the amount that they're insured for to rebuild the house, and they're just paying for stuff that they don't need. And also, I've been in the real estate industry for so long that that's kind of my expertise, and so that's kind of like the avenue that I've gone in, being that look, I know I can help people the most in this direction because I just know houses and I've known how that process works for a long time. And yeah, I've saved a lot of people money on their mortgage because people's mortgages is linked to their home insurance. If we save you money on the home insurance, then the mortgage payment goes down. I think I just helped a guy around the corner from our office save like $40 a month on
Yeah.
his mortgage.
40 times 12, you do the math. It's a
Yeah,
couple $100 a year. It's
yeah, exactly.
amazing.
Right.
So, okay. So if we're listening and we're like, okay, I really want to make sure that I'm protected. Like, I don't want to have these emergency costs, like kick my butt for the umpteenth time. How do we find you?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So you can Google Allstate agent Justin Angle. That's Angle like Angle. You can find us on Instagram at Allstate Angle Agency. You can give us a call, honestly, at 215-447-7600. We're in the office from 9 to 6 every day.
Perfect. Okay. So we want to know, what are you taking away from this? What are you receiving? Let us know in the comments below. And we also want to know, do you yourself feel prepared for whatever life throws at you in terms of finances? We would love to know, and we'd love to know how we can support you. So I also want to take a minute at this time to share with you a new opportunity that the Stress Less Company has, and it is called the Virtual Stress Less Space. This is a space for self-care accountability taken to a whole new level. So if you need help making the rubber meet the road in terms of your self-care goals, or making sure that you are managing and reducing your stress, this is going to be an incredible space for you. We meet 4 times a month, and you can find more information about that at stresslessco.com/virtual stress less space. This concludes this episode of the Stress Less Show. If you've enjoyed this week's episode, let us know by giving us a big old thumbs up and hitting that follow or subscribe button. Also, If this episode resonated with you, or you know it's going to resonate with someone else in your life, please make sure to hit that share button. Spread the wealth. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.